I told them to leave, my demons depressed. They want me to die, they know I'm a threat. I have a few things to get off my chest. I've been in the darkness, not living the best. Searching for real, I wonder what's next. Pushing my limits, no time for the rest. It can get ugly, I'm willing to bet. Play the wrong cards, you end up in debt.
Hey, welcome to episode 5 of the Brothers Compass podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We help you find your way after service. That's our whole goal here, is to become a compass for you in giving you a direction to go. And we do that by interviewing veterans and figuring out what has worked for them in civilian life once they've gotten out of service. And today I'm joined with Sergeant First Class Ray Gonzalez. Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So to kick this thing off, man, my first memory of you is I'm a brand new Ranger private, old PFC Landers, and I get told to go into your squad's AO to get something, and I don't even remember what I was supposed to get, but I just remember that very quickly I was thrown up against the wall lockers by Bell. Bell was holding me, and you just started teeing off on my ribs, dude, just cracking me in the ribs, and I was thinking, what have I done? What? So that's my first memory of you, man.
Well, that's a good thing though. Like, if you get picked on as a new Ranger private, that's like you were trying to accept you, and you know what I mean? If they left you alone, it was more like, it wasn't a good thing.
That's true, man. I got picked on a lot. So well, man, thanks for being here, dude. This is awesome, man. We haven't talked. We probably haven't talked since I was contracting, and that had to be 2012-ish, 2013-ish is probably the last time we talked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a hot minute.
Yeah. I think we might have talked a few times just over like Messenger, but nothing substantial. Yeah.
Right. So, man, give me the whole rundown. Like, what made you join the service, and then like what was your career path once you got in?
Wow. So I joined at 17, but I was where I grew up, it was bottom of the barrel, a lot of crime, gangs, freaking people didn't really think about their futures too much. And I was like, man, I got to figure something out because I'm not going on the right path. So I was actually dropped out of high school, and I went to the recruiter, and I was like, I want to join. And they're like, do you have a diploma? I said, no. Like, well, you can't join without a diploma. So they actually got me back into school and got me squared away. So I kind of owed it, to the military for helping me out. So then I joined at 17, July 2003, about 10 days before my 18th birthday, and then they shipped me off to Georgia. But that was the start of it. And then I went to Fort Benning, basic training, and then the Ranger recruiters showed up, and they were like talking about, who wants to do this? And I was just like, I have no idea what a Ranger is. They're like, but there was guys who said I couldn't do it. So I was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it. I have no idea what it was, but I just signed up for it. And the drill sergeants didn't even know. They thought it was Ranger school. They said that, you're going to go to your unit, and then you're going to go to pre-Ranger, and then they're going to see you back to your unit. Because originally I was supposed to go to 101st. And then, I don't know, it wasn't like that. Got on the bus after basic, went to airborne, RIP. And yeah, I was the same way. I was like, man, what the hell did I get myself into? And it was a lot different back then. But
yeah, man. Yeah. You were 2 years prior to me. So I've heard stories of what it was like before I got there.
Yeah, and RIP, yeah. It was pretty crazy. But that's just like the beginning of it. And then I was in a Charlie company for 2 years, infantryman. Did that, and then when my reenlistment window came up, I was like, well, I don't want to get out. It's just like an infantry guy. Like, I want to learn something else. So then at that same time is when they started to they established Echo Company, the support company. And then I went to Sergeant First Class Hernandez, the recruiter, and I was like, he showed me a list of jobs, and electrician was one of them. I was like, oh, I'll try that out. But I mean, it most people think, oh, you're an electrician, but that's like the secondary. Even though you reclass to another job in range regiment, you need to be able to hang with the line guys and then do your job. So I went, but it was pretty cool though, because after I went, like I said, they were standing up eco. They did, I can't remember the name of it. It was I believe it was CRC or something like that, where they brought a bunch of support guys who didn't have to go through RIP, but they still had to do like a 10-day, like eval, almost like Green Platoon and SF.
Yeah.
But then, so I helped with like getting them squared away. And then, even after they got there, it's like trying to instill in them like that Ranger mentality, you know, and kind of smoke out the big army of them, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, and then I was there and I just like excelled because it was like one, I was already in Ranger Regiment for a while, and then two, I just had a different mentality than everybody there. But before
Right.
I get too far, I mean, I don't want to ramble on too much. Unless you want me to go through my whole career right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just kind of blast through it, man. Like give us
Okay.
the the meat and potatoes of it for sure.
Yeah.
But quick question. Did you when so I remember when you went and reclassed. I remember like you were like one of the first ones to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz like you said eco was just being stood up. And so I remember thinking it was cool that you were doing that, and then it was cool like you left for a long time, and then I remember seeing you come back. And anyway, so in the mix of all that, did you end up going to Ranger School and coming back, or I don't
Yeah.
remember.
After I went to Echo Company, I did one or two deployments with them. There was one deployment with them. And then I got back and then I went straight to Ranger School, which I was at. I mean, I don't know if it's 100% true, but the sergeant major, um, uh, the acting sergeant major of the regiment told me I was the first electrician to graduate Ranger School, which I thought was pretty cool.
Wow,
And then,
that's real cool.
yeah. And then, yeah, so I did a deployment with them and then came back Ranger School for that whole training cycle. And then I graduated Ranger School I was there for like 6 months. I graduated like on a Friday or whatever. And like that next Friday, I was already packing my bags and
No
going up
way.
to, going out to Iraq and Afghanistan deployment. Yeah. And then I just crushed. I didn't miss other than like half deployments for like having a kid or going to Ranger School. I hit every deployment in my 10 years at regiment. I was there from shoot, '04 to 2014. I hit everyone. I think I was at like 13 or 14 deployments I ended up doing.
Wow.
My D214 said I accumulated 55 months of deployments in my career, but I think some of that might have been prorated, you know. But yeah, I did the Ranger thing for 10 years, but now I was burnt out towards the end. I
Yeah.
got E6 promotable. I was active platoon sergeant, Nico, but I was like, man, I cannot do this anymore. I'm just burnt out. And then we went to Knox for um, a training event, and the acting first sergeant took us to the eco first sergeant took us to all the platoon sergeants. He took us to branch to meet our branch managers, and that was like my branch manager brought up Italy, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. I was like, I don't want to go. I was like, no, I just thought it sounded cool. But then like a week later, I came down in orders to go to Italy, and I was there like, and at that time I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna try something else out. I've been doing this for 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
So then that ended my career in 14 at the regiment, and I went to the 173rd for 3 years in Vicenza, Italy, northern Italy.
How
Did
was
a
that,
lot.
man? Was that a good change?
It was different there because the one from my perspective, what I saw is I knew a lot of the general officers, like from regiment. They all went over there. So a lot of the majors, I knew them and they knew me. But then the further you went down the chain towards private, it was like less and less. Like there was few platoon sergeants from the regiment went over there. Like Jeremy Smith. You remember Jeremy Smith?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he went over there too.
No way.
Yeah. But like the further you went down, like the E6s and the privates or team leaders, like they didn't have that ranger mentality. So it was like they were pushing like the ranger tempo down. So, but it wasn't executed. I feel like the same. Not saying it was worse or anything. It was just not what I was used to, you know.
Right.
And they were busy, man. They would go on deployments like training events all around Europe. They were like, especially me at E7 Ranger Tab, all decked out. I was like, I would go earliest deployment, be early from that deployment just to go early to another deployment. So I was just like, man, I was like, I'm fucking still burning out. Like I came over here for a break, but I was like, I was hurting at that time because when I got to Italy, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go. I finally here, like, I'm gonna go see the behavioral health because I wasn't feeling like myself, and they started putting me on medication, and that did not help me at all. I felt like so I was just stressing myself out, burning myself out, and then after it was a great time there. I got to see Europe and a lot of part of the world that I wouldn't have never had the opportunity to have seen. And after that, I left there in 2017 and I came here to Colorado Springs and to 10th Group to run their engineer section. But man, I was just hurting at that time. Like I was burnt out physically, mentally. And then I was seeing the 10th Group doctor. And then I was seeing him regularly just for my issues. And then, excuse me. And then one day they weren't in, I had to go see the doc. And I went to the base doctor, like the head guy. And he just looked at my file, like, and he's like, dude, like, you're done, man. Like this, they were med boarding a lot of people. He's like, you need to get med boarded. Like at your records, how you are acting, like even like I put on a lot of weight too. Like I wasn't carrying myself well. I wasn't even happy, you know, and how I was carrying myself at the time. But I was just
Yeah.
stressed out. I was drinking every night, like half a bottle of freaking Jack every night. And then it was almost like I was just waiting for somebody to say, do you want to quit? Or not quit, but you know what I mean? Like you need to take it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I talked to my wife about it. I was like, I just need a break, man. Like because I wasn't able to quit. I was still pushing myself as much as I could, you know?
Yeah.
And I just needed that little, I don't know how to explain it. It was just something I knew like inside that I needed to do. So I went through the med board process and I spent my last year here, in 10th Group. And then got out and stayed here after 15 years and 3 months. Yeah. But,
Man, that's wild. Dude, it sounds like you started kind of struggling mentally and stuff before you were ever even got out. So like because you were pushing so hard, like you never slowed down, never like you weren't taking care of yourself, or like you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like we're not good at self care. Like we think that self care is selfish or like self care is like weak or whatever. So like because we just don't know. Um, so man, that's wild that you ran yourself that far into the ground to where it's like the base doc is like, "Hey, it's time, man."
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I was bad. And I think a lot of it was self-inflicted too, because the medications mixed with alcohol
Yeah.
that, because when I first started taking them, like, oh, I'm in control of this, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever. But then like, there came to a point where like, fuck, like I'm thinking differently. Sorry, I'm sorry for cussing, but like,
Oh,
I'm
you're
thinking
fine, man.
differently.
You're fine.
And I started to realize like most people think they're in control, but like these thoughts I was having, intrusive thoughts or whatever, they were because of the medication. And it was really like, I thought they were internal to me, but in reality, like it was because of um bad nutrition, the medication, um, just exercise. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't
Yeah.
being healthy. Yeah, it was scary because then when you come to like that realization, you're like, holy crap! Like, yeah,
Yeah. Like I'm not okay.
yeah,
Um, so when you're saying medication, are we talking like SSRIs
yeah,
type? Okay, gotcha. Man, that's wild too. Especially that they I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's normal, but in my mind, I think it's crazy that they had you on SSRIs like while you're in service. But um, I guess I see the point. Like they're trying to keep you functional and keep you working and all that. But like, um, in just my experience with counselors and stuff here on the outside, I've discovered that like they know that the combat veterans specifically SSRIs, like we have horrible side effects with them. Like, and I don't know what the reason is. I just have found that very interesting that even um, civilian counselors out here are going, yeah, all the combat veterans that I see can't take SSRIs because they're so bad for them. Like that the
yes.
side effects are so much worse than being, than they are helping. So
Well, when I after I got out, like I was having a lot of issues, like this this issues, and I would just like I said, wasn't feeling myself. I was having like I was irritable, having anger issues. So what I did is the VA used to offer these classes. They're like 6 to 8 week classes where um about one was about like weight loss, one was about one was for TBI, one was for PTSD, and I took them all. And one thing I kind of noticed across all three of them is a lot of the for like TBI, PTSD, behavioral issues. A lot of it, they all kind of root from the same um what do you call it? Same issues like your nutrition, like if you're drinking a lot, like your brain's gonna act a certain way. Um, so then when you go to a doctor to get prescribed medicine and you're telling them your symptoms kind of um fan across multiple issues that it could be the PTSD, it could be the TBI, it could be that you're going on a freaking bender for the last 2 weeks, it could be a plethora of things. And for me, just for them to give you a medication because they think it's because it's your PTSD, when it's really
right,
because you're drinking a lot, you're just asking for trouble. So yeah, I was running into issues as well with it because they had me on 2 SSRIs at one time, and it was before I got off of it. I was like bad, like anger issues. Like I have, I had no idea what was wrong with me. So I like called the doc here, and I was like, I need to see somebody. Like, okay, you come up to Denver. So I drove all the way to Denver, like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes to the hospital, and I showed up, and nobody was there. Like nobody showed up for my appointment. And I was getting upset, but I was having like suicidal freaking thoughts. Like I was really
yeah,
bad. And then so I was like, okay, so I rescheduled there, and I had to wait a month, still dealing with all these issues. And then I show back up to my appointment, and nobody showed up again. I was
man,
pissed. So I was trying to call the I was at the hospital. I was so mad. I was trying to get a hold of the victim advocate at the VA hospital in Denver here. Nobody picked up the phone, of course, it'd be advocate. And I was starting to get frustrated, and they just told me to sit down, and I was just getting mad. Like I was super irritable at the time. So I started like pacing around, and like it almost like they started to ignore me. And I go up there and I was like, I need to talk to somebody right now. Like I go up to the desk. I said, I need to talk to somebody right now. And they were still like ignoring me, not making eye contact. Dude, it freaking hit me like a freaking wave. And I freaking flipped out, man. I was like, there's freaking veterans killing themselves every fucking day. And I can just imagine to come to a place like this and you guys are ignoring them. I'm literally almost screaming for help. And you guys are ignoring me and just tell me to sit there when I've been waiting over a freaking month to get these issues resolved. man, I freaking started yelling. Man, I was yelling at people. And then the doctor's supposed to see came out after I was
No
yelling and
way.
made a big scene. I was like, now you can effing come out, motherfucker. Yeah, they called the cops on me. I got it squared away, but after that, I got off the medicine. Um,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done with this stuff, man. Like, I was just so disappointed. Like, I'm literally screaming for help right now. And
Yep.
then when I actually, like that's what I had to do. I had to just open up and be like, what the F is going on here? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but yeah, I went through that. Then after a little bit after, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're great, man. I
Yeah,
was gonna say it sucks that we have to get to that space first before they take it serious. Like,
yeah,
because it's so well known, right? Everybody talks about it like, oh, veteran suicide, 22 a day. Like, we know all the things, but like the people that are actually supposed to help and like work on it, it's almost like you get punished for even trying. And then they don't take you serious until you're freaking out like that. Um, yeah, same kind of deal with me, dude. Like when I first tried to go to the VA, they were like, yeah, we can get you in like 3 months. And I was like struggling that day, and I was like, I need help today. And like I leaned over the desk and I was real quiet. And like, dude, I was shaking and I had tears in my eyes and I was like, I can't go one more day feeling like this, And they were like, Roger that. And like, luckily that dude had compassion and like, took me straight up to mental health that day. So, but it sucks that you had to get to that space where you're screaming, and you're not so much screaming at the people, like you're just screaming out for help. Like it sucks you had to get there, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, all right, so you're in that space, and this is before you get out.
This is after.
Okay, this is after. So okay, so you've been struggling while you're in, then you get out, and you're still struggling with the same things, like the same mental decline, like um the depression, the anxiety, things like that. So that was like was that the number one thing? And you're still are you trying to hold down a civilian job during that?
Well, as soon as I got out, I went to I got out in October 18, and in January of 19, I started here at the state college. And I mean, academically, I don't know. Like I was doing fine because like that's just the Rangerism. Like it doesn't matter how stressed you are. Ranger school, like you have to, figure out a way to get it done. I mean, I did great academically. It's just like even when I was in school, like I was having like emotional anxiety issues, self-esteem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this was after, so it was probably 2 years after I got out when I had the issue at the VA because I did my degrees there, and then I took like after my second degree or after I got done with the degrees, like my second son was born. My third kid was born. So I had two kids that were below 2 years old. So I decided to um, just hang out with. It was right after COVID too, um, to kind of take a step back and let my wife. She wanted to get out there and do her own thing because she's been supporting me all this time. So raise the kids and stuff like that. But so I was just hanging out with them, and then yeah, during that window is when I ran into that issue.
Yeah, man. So what did you find? Like, tell me what you found to eventually like help dig you out of that hole. Like, what was the process there?
Well, I found this book called The Mood Cure. Um, I've recommended it on my podcast too, but it's what it goes into like how your brain works, and it goes into like the amino acids in your brain, and it's a it and how to use nutrition to get mentally back to where you need to be. I mean, it's a great book, but that definitely was a foundation of like trying to um, get back right.
Right.
Um, that definitely helped me. Um, therapy, um, but definitely that to me, it's like I was said earlier about like how I wasn't thinking right because of medications and alcohol and stuff like that. But that was all because of specific levels of amino acids in my brain not being to where they are. It's almost like if you have an engine that's got low on oil or bad gas and it's not firing right, or your cylinders, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wasn't
Right.
running at optimum performance. And I think that was definitely what really helped me. And also um talking about it too, like on my podcast, the Sue's Bonded podcast, just getting the word out, trying to let people know, trying to help everybody I could with the information that I acquired over my time, my struggles. But yeah, hope that answered your question.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's good to know. I'm always curious, man, because it seems like that's the $1 million question, right? Like that's what everybody tries to figure out. Like, hey, how did you get better? What did you do? How do we stop veteran suicide? And the answer is different for everybody. So, for something that worked for you may not work for the next guy, but it might work for the guy after that. So, the mood cure. I'm gonna look that book up, man. Because dude, I'm in this process with you. I'm learning constantly. I'm
Yeah.
always researching, always reading something, always trying new things. Because, dude, I did the SSRI thing for 15 years, you know, like off and on for 15 years. Like, let's try a different one. Let's try a different combination. Let's do this. And and dude, I initially was like so hard headed about it where I was like, I don't even believe in depression. I was like, I think depression is mental weakness. Like, and that's just like, tell me, that's Ranger programming 101,
Hmm.
like anything wrong with you is just weakness, so like you're just going to Ranger up and drive on. And so for the longest, dude, that was my answer. Like, I'm going to fix it with diet and exercise. Like, I'm sad, I'm depressed. Like, I don't know I wouldn't even call it depression. Like, I was just like, something's wrong with me. I don't feel right. I'm going to fix it with diet and exercise. And then, dude, it didn't get better. And I was super fit, like I was in great shape. But dude, my mental space was in shambles. And even with good dieting, like I was like hardcore. This is like the early CrossFit days, so I was like
Hmm.
hardcore CrossFitting and like really sticking to the paleo diet and all that, and it just didn't fix it. Um, so finally, I ended up getting on SSRIs, but dude, I did that for 15 years. And one of the other turning points for me was I got my hormones checked. Um, Dude, my testosterone was like in the trash, man. Like it was just like shut down. And so I was I was barely alive, man. My testosterone was like 150. And
Oh well.
so once we got that figured out and like got that normal or that level back to normal, dude, that fixed a lot of the mental space. Like you're saying, like it was rarely the PTSD or whatever it was. It was these imbalances in my brain and in my body that were making my headspace out of control. Um, so dude, what have you found now? Like, so we know it was the book that like kind of started the journey and that was kind of the catalyst to getting you better. So what's like a normal day for you? Cause I think this is something that you kind of have to choose to do every day, right? Like you gotta choose. I'm gonna be present today. I'm gonna work on me today. Cause it's so easy to go back, I think.
Yeah. So you said a normal day for me. What does it look like, or how I deal with
Yeah,
my?
yeah, like, what does your self-care practice look like?
I, I'm trying to think because right now I'm kind of recovering from injuries, but I used to work out a lot more. Like I would, first in the morning, try to work out. Just that's just the self esteem. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
um, and then just try to drink a lot of water. Try to not eat sugars and crap like that. And then
Yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult because I mean I just try to. I'm just trying to think because like I mean like I said I was getting a lot of anxiety. So even like now like I try to avoid situations where the past that would give me anxiety. Like I'm back in school now. I'm about to finish up my next degree, so I'm like, I don't know, there's a lot of young people I'm in college. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, you know, I just try to like be more mindful and not talk when not necessary. Because in Ranger Regiment, like in the military, you can just say dumb shit all the time, and you know what I
Right.
mean. But that
Yeah.
doesn't work like that in the civilian world, you know. So I just try, you know, I'd be more mindful, just take it slow. Um, Make sure when I go to bed, I take all my amino acids and whatnot and my magnesium um, to help me sleep and help my brain recover um, at night. But yeah, I just mainly try to take it slow and be more mindful and not jump to conclusions about things. And yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've been doing it for so long now. It's not more of an active self care. Is just like, okay, this is just what I do now. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So yeah, it's like part of the routine now.
Hmm.
Um, do you mind saying what amino acids you're talking about? Because I'm thinking somebody's gonna hear that and be curious.
Well, books on there. Well, there's four. I mean, I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head. There's four in your brain, right? And when if you read the book, they have these little Quizlets tests that you do, like are about certain things you're experiencing, and like, oh, if you're experiencing, and you score it like 1 to 4, you know, kind of
Yeah.
like a command climate survey, you know, and then you score it. Um, and then it tells you like, oh, you're low on this amino acid or you're low on this amino acid. And um, then there's a plan to get you back to get you feeling right. When I first read the book, like I was low on all four. I was like, fuck, like I'm all of these things. So, and it's not just like a simple, oh, you take pill, like you have to take like a significant amount of these amino, which are just like fish oils or healthy fats. Like that's pretty much what the amino acid is, just like oils and fats and stuff like that.
Right.
Olive oil, um, and pretty much, yeah, they just make your brain run smoothly. Um, and you need them. And that's what when people say they're feeling certain ways, or people say they're um, acting a certain way, like in my head, it's first things like, what did you eat today? What did you eat this week?
Yeah.
Like even, but your brain will trick you though. Like people who are like obese who are eating chips and chips and chips and chips, because there's a oil and a fat in there that your brain is just so deprived of these oils and fats that you want that it needs to operate. It just get like, oh, there's a fat, and it's just like we need more of this. But reality, like your brain's almost tricking yourself. Like it just needs something to help it run smoothly. Yeah. It's, man, I wish I would have freaking had that book out right now. I could have dove deep into it more. But yeah, they're pretty much like proteins, you know.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. I'm definitely gonna. I wrote it down. I'm gonna have to read that book and then see see
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, yeah.
low in, man. 'Cause I'm like, I might be low in everything also.
But it's just crazy how honestly simple it's. And that's why earlier when I was talking about when you go to the doc and you're like, I'm feeling this certain way, it's like, oh, here you need these medications. But it's like, if you have a diet and your amino acid levels are where they need to be and you still are feeling these negative effects, yeah, then you should probably take some sort of medication to help you get back to where you need to be. But if you know what I mean? Like, your engine's fucked up and you go to the mechanic, like, I wanted to go faster. It's not going fast. And they give you NOS for your fucking broke ass engine. And
Right.
it's gonna mess it up even more. You know what I mean? Like make sure everything's
Right.
running smoothly, it's oiled, it's tuned. You got to make sure that's all squared away before you start just taking meds.
Yeah. That's good advice, man. That's real good
Yeah,
advice.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I heard something yesterday that I kind of wanted to pick your brain on.
Mhm.
So I talked to Louis Saucedo just yesterday.
Mhm.
Do you know him? Do you remember
The
him?
name sounds familiar. I got to see the face.
He so he showed up to battalion like the tail end of my time there. So, our timelines may have not, or y'all's timelines may have not matched, but something he said. He just got back from a retreat, and it's called Talon's Reach, and it's like it's for special operations guys only. Like they're the only ones that can go, any branch. But when he was there, like during his time there, he the guy that runs it said he has a really hard time getting rangers there. He's like, yeah, PJs, TAC Ps, SF guys, Delta guys, like they all come through there. He's like, but the one like soft demographic that he struggles to get to attend is rangers. And I'm like, what is that? Why is that part of our mentality? Like, are we just that hard headed? Like, because I feel like it's difficult to get a ranger to one become self aware enough, to where they're admitting to, hey, I need help, or hey, I'm pursuing help. I think that we have to get in this really terrible headspace before we're willing to admit it. Um, and then it's like we also have this idea that I can't go to that retreat because somebody else needs it more than me, or whatever. I don't know what the thing is. I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Ah, that's a good question. That's I think there's multiple elements. Um, One, I think there's kind of a little stigma in the Ranger Regiment, how, I don't know, like they just didn't like other special operations, like, oh, that's SF, or oh, these guys, like we're different. I think definitely because I think Rangers, they have a different daily life or atmosphere than the other special operations uh organizations. Like I feel like in Ranger Regiment, it's like nonstop, 110% every day. And I feel like that when if you see other units that are at that same level, but they don't have to necessarily give that 100%, 110% every day, it's kind of like you have a feeling towards them, like you're not the
Yeah,
same, or not the same, but you haven't had it as hard as me. That might be a kind of a aspect. And I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't know, man, because I've talked to a lot of guys um, since I've been out, especially with the podcast I helped out with. Um, and I kind of feel like it's more of a window of guys in regiment because guys like before my time, like before, like older Rangers, I feel like they didn't have an issue with that camaraderie across branches or other special operations units. But there's like a little window of our guys um, that have a different mentality. Like when I first got to regiment, to Charlie 2, my platoon sergeant, I don't want to say his name or anything, but he's like, you don't talk to anybody outside the town. You don't talk to your old buddies who are at this unit. You don't talk to anybody freaking this company. You don't talk to anybody in this platoon. Like you're Charlie 2. These are your boys. You know what I mean? Like that's all.
yeah,
Like that's how it was, and it was like I mean, it definitely made our bonds a lot tighter, a lot stronger. But I kind of feel like it kind of stems from that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, that does make sense, man. I'm wondering if it's like, specific to that GWAT era,
Yeah,
Rangers, where it's like, dude, we were super tight then because it was so fast and furious all the time. And you were with those dudes 24/7, like all the time. When you weren't at work, they were at your house, or you were drinking with them, or whatever, like you were literally always together.
yeah. And
So,
even deployed, like we would be like on my deployments at least, my first um as infantry, like we were all in this like in um Bagram, like it was a freaking C hut or B hut. It was like all the beds are together, no walls. You know what I mean? You had your
yep,
freaking TV right there. Like everybody was. You're just with them 24/7. It wasn't
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Like when I left to get my 10th group or 173rd, like, they gave you some privacy, but
Yeah. Huh. I don't know, man. That makes a lot of sense though. I appreciate your opinion on it, man. Because that's like that's one thing of, how do we I don't know. Like I said before, that's the $1,000,000 question is how do we stop veteran suicide, right? Like how do we get guys the help they need? How do we get them to recognize that they need help? But then if you if you drill it down, look specifically at the Ranger Regiment, how do you get the Rangers specifically to want help or to seek help or to recognize that they even need it, like that's I don't know, man. And maybe it'd be easier to reach this generation of Ranger, since they're
yeah.
kind of removed from the GWAT a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, like, at least with I haven't really talked to too many more infantry rangers since I've been out. I mean, a few, but it's mainly been, like, support guys, and one thing that I kinda noticed is some of the guys, like, kinda adopt personality, and they kinda like, this something like they developed in the Ranger regiment, like, almost like to me, actually almost like a safety blanket, like, super hard ass or super like,
Yep.
a certain way, and when they leave, they don't give that up. Like, it's still
Yeah.
there, and they go out into the world, and there's a few guys I was talking to, and then, like, I just noticed it, I'm like in the gentlest way, like, kinda bring it up, like, "Hey, like, you don't need to be like this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to be the baddest motherfucker in the room, or, like, you can still be the baddest dude, but in a different way." Like,
Right.
not from being, like, super alpha, like, saying whatever is on your mind and stuff like that. It's like and I feel like that could lead to some mental struggles because even if you're not, like, in the military, like, from where you think you are to where you do actually are, if they're so far apart, you know what I mean? Like, mentally, like, that leads to depression and anxiety and regret and, just symptoms like that. So, like, you just gotta, like one of the guys I told, like, try to break his mentality out of it. His mental state was like, "Dude, like, the regiment needed you. Like, they needed you to be the best you can be. Like, you didn't need them." Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people
Yeah.
do, you know what I mean? I didn't mean it like that, but, like, like, just know that that was your time there and you did the best you could, but now you are you, just expanding who you are. Like, you gotta just kinda leave that behind you and just put on a different hat and be who you need to be, or I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, that was, like, my way of trying to figure it out, but I think that's an issue too, is guys get
Yeah.
stuck in that mentality, let it become their identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, you nailed it, man. Like that's really at the forefront of my mind is and that's what I've been preaching on all social platforms, is like, dude, when you get out, if you're not careful, you lose your identity and you lose your purpose. Because that's what happened to me. Like, dude, all my entire being was wrapped up into that thing. So it's like I worked really hard to become that ranger that is like worth keeping at the regiment, that deserves to be there. You prove it every single day. So like, dude, when I signed out of the army, I remember waking up the next morning after I signed out, like it was my last day. I woke up and the first thought in my mind was, I was cool yesterday and today I'm nobody. And and dude, that's what started it. Like that first thought, I was cool yesterday, today I'm nobody. And I let myself believe that. And that began like the negative self-talk, like the negative inner dialogue and all that.
Yeah.
I think you're right, dude. Like that's so vital that guys recognize the need that, hey, you became who you had to be to survive at the regiment and to operate at the regiment, but you're not there anymore. And so now you get to decide who you want to be and how you want to live and what values you want to live by, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's a hard one.
And that's one thing I struggle with too. Like I said, like I grew up for like fucking gutter, bottom of the barrel, and then like going to regiment, like one of the first and the first times, like good job. It's like that felt great, and
Yeah.
but it took years for me to realize. But it got to a point where I was doing things for attaboys and good jobs instead of doing them for self improvement or self growth. Excuse.
Yeah.
So like, and then after you realize that, then you have to figure out, oh shoot, like how do I do things for me?
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's so many elements that go into, negative self image or depression, anxiety. And a lot of times, like people say, like, I don't know why I'm depressed. It's like, I think you do. You just don't want to admit it to yourself. You know
Right.
what I mean? You don't want to accept the fact or come to a realization of what actual reality is, and that people hide it, alcohol, drugs.
Yep.
Um, yeah, but
Man, and I love the analogy that you used a minute ago about how like this idea of who you are and who you actually are. Like the wider that gap gets, because like, dude, I see it over and over, and I know you have too. Like Rangers have gotten out, and like you're saying, they continue to try and live this Ranger identity for no reason. Like you're trying to continue and like live as a Ranger in the civilian sector. And that, dude, it just does not work. Like that's oil and water, man. Like it does not mix at all. And so then they're going, well, this is who I actually am. Like I'm sitting in a cubicle, like, trying
mhm,
to write quotes or trying to, do my job at the cubicle, but their identity is, or their mind is here. This is who I am. But the cubicle job is like who they actually are or who they're living right now. So that gap is massive, and it's a recipe for depression, man. Um,
yeah,
Man, that's wild. Uh, I don't know, man. Maybe awareness is the answer. Maybe it's letting guys know in advance, like, hey, when you get out, when you start thinking about getting out, here's what you're going to face. Like you're going to face this identity crisis of, and you have to be willing to let go of who you've built yourself into at this unit, wherever you are.
yeah,
Like you got to let go of that without the rank, the title, the medals, the accolades. Who are you without all that stuff? And what are the values that you want to live by?
yeah. I mean, I think about it because even with my podcast, like we did it for about a year plus, and like trying to put the message out there, we even had a call line set up for people to call at Discord, and it's like crickets, man. Like nothing, nobody reached out, and just like so I like after it ended, I was like, man, like what needs to happen is like I keep fighting the thought of you can't do it. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm like there has to be something, but
Yeah.
um, it's just I think you're right. Like before you get out, they need to have a rude awakening. Like before they sound like, listen, dude, you're not gonna be shit when you get out. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna like this. That's like to me that's the only way they're gonna listen. This, but I don't know, man. It's just difficult because, like I said, I've been trying to put uh my own my own pond or my own rock in the pond, do my own ripple effect to try to get the word out and get people's attention. And it seems like it still happens, and guys are still struggling. But I don't know. It's it's difficult. I think a lot of it kind of stems too from, especially with the GWAT. Like I said, like me, like there's other guys who came from nothing, freaking came from the mountains, hills of Tennessee or North Carolina, freaking Texas, freaking inner city of uh, some town, but and then they get to the military and it's like that window of time, like some of these dudes turn into heroes. Some of these dudes freaking do valorous
Yep.
acts. Some of these dudes get to the heights they're probably sometimes will ever be in their whole career. And a lot of that too is somebody else kind of helping you, pushing you and supporting you. And you get out and it's just like you're on your own. There might be some
Yeah.
organizations and stuff like that, but it's I don't know. I think it's like what you said, like somebody's got to tell you before you get out,
Yeah.
like, dude, like don't sugarcoat it. Tell them what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And from what I understand, I think the Ranger Regiment is doing a better job at like helping guys prepare to get out. Dude, when I don't know how it was for you, but when I got out, it was like I told him that I was getting out, flew home from to crit, and I was a civilian 30 days later. So I ETS'd in 30 days.
Wow.
And that was it. Like the little ETS process, which is for us, it's just like check the box, like go to the class, like get the thing checked off because we don't really care. We're not paying attention. We're just like getting out. It's all PowerPoints and stuff. So no one really cares. And so, dude, like getting out, having no one said anything of like, hey, you might struggle, or here's what it's a pamphlet, it's like, hey, don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it, and it's like a mental health pamphlet. And that does nothing, man. Um, so yeah, maybe that is the answer, man, to get in front of guys before they get out and go, hey, here's what you're gonna face, here's what you're gonna struggle with. And here's the pathway, or at least here's the pathway to self-discovery. My whole goal is to prevent guys from the 15 years that I wasted, the 15 years that I struggled to find my place in the world,
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know, man. It's just such a complicated situation and problem to try to figure out. And
Yeah.
I personally, I think a lot of it is medications and nutrition, brain health. Um, but I know personally, I was freaking pissed though when they just gave Afghanistan back. Like that hit
Yeah.
me hard. It was just all I thought about was like all the dudes I knew passed away over there for some bull crap. I was just I was heated. I was like,
Yeah,
all that
man.
for freaking nothing. Yeah. That I knew some guys who passed away, but I wasn't like best friends with anybody, thankfully for my situation. But there were some guys there who actually like best friend, like I knew personally that their best friend freaking was killed in Afghanistan or Iraq or something. And it's just like, and you just gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna give it all back, all this land we fought for and all this stuff we did. And that, I can't even imagine how that affects somebody.
Man, that's a big one too. It seems like I don't know, it seems like the further we get away from it, um, the guys that fought, the GWAT veterans that fought there and like, saw their friends die there and all that. It seems like they're taking on the mindset of, it was all a farce, it was all for nothing. Like almost from like a regretful point of view, like I wish I would have never done it kind of thing. And some guys are saying that. It's interesting, man, because like and I've got mixed feelings about it because it's like on the one side, yeah, a piece of me feels that way. And then on the other side, I have a lot that I owe to the Army and to the Ranger Regiment, to like for making me uh stronger, for making, for pushing me to be better and like making a better person and making a better man. Um, but man, like seeing things just handed back over that we fought and stood for, and um, like you said, dude, that's painful. It's a kick in the gut for sure.
So when you say you have a lot to owe to the military for helping you in those specific things you said, do you feel that the service you did at the time was a good enough payment, or do you still feel that you have more to owe them?
Dude, that's a great question, man. And I just had this conversation last week with another guy. Um, dude, there are days, and probably more days than not, where I feel like I didn't do enough, where I should have stayed, or I shouldn't have gotten out, or um, dude, even like, this is ridiculous, man. And I don't, it may just be me, but even like down to training events that I remember, I'll think back and go, I should have gave that event more. I should have tried harder. I should have, and so it's always from this place of not enough, like, did I do enough? I didn't do enough. I should have done more. I should have stayed longer, you know, um,
Yeah.
and the guy that I was talking to about that very thing was a Delta guy. Like, he's a retired Delta guy. And he's like, I did everything that I wanted to do on paper. I stayed the full career. And he's like, and I still have thoughts like that. I still have thoughts of, did I do enough? Like, and we're talking like the pinnacle of, like, you don't get better than Delta.
Yeah, yeah.
And so for someone like that to say, yeah, I have those same thoughts, like, that's kind of comforting, but I don't know, maybe it's a mental illness, man.
Well, I kind of have a similar regrets. I get regrets if you want to say, but mine is more towards like interpersonal communication. Like I felt like I did as much as I could at my ability for training events or whatever. Like I always was, but I like always put the mission and the Rangers, the military first. And if you're a fucking shithead, I felt I wasn't doing what you needed to do. Like I was gonna get on you and be like, dude, you need to freaking, you know what I mean? And I didn't really
Yeah.
care about them. It's like, cause we all need to be doing this. And I feel like that is like my regrets, not building better relationships with people. Cause I was always like, no, we need to freaking put our own shit off to the side and push ourselves to get the mission done. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. That's another good perspective, man, for sure. Um, that's one that I haven't thought of. Like, the people piece of it, like the relationship piece of it, has always been easy for me. Like, it that just comes naturally to me. So it's
mhm.
like, dude, I formed good friendships, and you know, um, I probably wasn't as mean to privates as I should have been.
Right?
Um, but I don't know, man. So it's interesting to hear that perspective, because that's one that I haven't thought of for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're the opposite now. When like I work my ass off all day, like a freaking mule. When it comes to like the inter- interpersonal communication, kind of,
Yeah.
buddy buddy stuff. I'm just, I don't know. I've never been too good with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
Well, and some of that, dude, some of that has to do with, our upbringing and all that. Like, everything's a factor in that. Um, and so I don't think either one of them is right or wrong. I just think that, it's good to hear different perspectives for sure.
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe that could be an issue too. Is like guys regretting things they've done in their career. You know what I mean? Like I think about it all the time. Like even if I don't
Yeah.
want to, like they just. I mean, there's guys out there right now probably doing the same things, like you said, like should have stayed in longer, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I mean, it definitely hurts your self-esteem, emotional state. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think the biggest thing is regret. I joined I joined because I didn't want to live with regret. Like, I didn't want to be 75 years old, sitting in a reclining chair, going, I wonder what would have happened if I would have tried. I wonder what would have happened if I would have enlisted, or, at least now I know. Um, but even still, there's still that element of regret, like, I should have done more. I should have stayed. So it's, I don't know, kind of a catch 22.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you could say one thing to any veteran out there who's struggling, like, no matter where they're at, no matter what they're struggling with, like, what would be that one, like, golden nugget you could give those guys?
probably that the pain is not going to last forever. It's going to go away, just like anything else you experience with time and patience. It's going to go away. Don't let it overwhelm you. You know, I think that's probably it. Take care of yourself. Eat right. Yeah, that's
Right.
about it.
Dude, that's great advice, man. That's great advice. Kind of goes back to the Ranger days, man. Like you run long enough, eventually everything goes numb and it quits hurting.
Yeah,
You know?
I used to tell myself that all the time. It's like, it's not gonna last forever. It's not gonna last forever. I mean, Ranger
Yeah.
school, you're like wanting to quit every freaking day. You're just like,
Yeah.
before you know it, you're gonna blank and you're gonna be graduated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just gotta let time help you out. You know, take it slow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great advice, man. Super good advice. That's the issue that so many guys run into is they get impatient. They think that they get out and all of a sudden they're going to conquer the world, or companies are going to be fighting over them to hire them, and they're going to just crush whatever they put their mind to because they were a ranger or whatever unit they're from. I was infantry, whatever. But the process is much slower than what they're expecting. Oh, because in the military, everything's fast paced. It's like everything is goals, and it's attainable and it's reachable, and you know, like you said, you put the mission first and you accomplish the thing. And out here it's just much slower. So I think
yeah,
when you don't find that immediate success, or you don't find that immediate gratification of having accomplished something, it kind of hits your ego a lot.
yeah. It's different. Like you said, it's a slower pace. You can get knocked down a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just gotta like no, you just gotta keep trucking. It's like a road march. You gotta put your head down and just keep grinding. You get knocked down so many times, but you're gonna get up 8. Like, you have to
Yeah.
keep that the mentality, like, you can't just give up. 'Cause it's different in the military, like, oh, you compete with other soldiers to go to a ranger school or something. You know what I mean? And then if you don't make it, you can try again in a few months, but it's not like but you still got like security, you still got your unit, you still got your camaraderie. But like here's like you try for a job, you fail. It's like fuck, like I really wanted that job. So you gotta go for another one. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, it's about who you know and how you market yourself, and you gotta
Yeah.
figure out that right, fine tune how you present yourself in order to uh, get a job. Like you go to the boards, like you fail a board is because you didn't know everything. You have to memorize all the manuals and all the everything you think sergeant major and first sergeant's want you to know, but it's not really like that in the regular or the real world because you're not sitting there as a robot. You're like trying to sell yourself and be like, oh, this guy would be cool to have him work here with us and he'll fit in with the um the culture,
The culture.
you
Yeah.
know. I had an interview the other day and one of the guys was a culture officer. I was like, what the hell is it? But he was like the hiring officer. I'm like, man, it kind of threw me off, but it's like pretty much to see if I fit in with everybody at the company. But I don't know. Still waiting to hear back from them. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard of the culture officers.
yeah, the senior culture officer, I think. That just threw me out because I never heard anything like that before. It was just like, our world is completely, or where we come from, it's different. It's like the best of the best
Yeah.
is going to get it. Yeah, but yeah, it's hard out there.
Yeah. For sure, man. Well, I promised to only keep you for an hour, and we're right on that. So
Yeah,
I can't say thanks enough for being on and for all your advice. And man, it's great to catch up with you after all these years.
I know it's been a minute, man.
Baby, I'm free. Hey, hey. We the ill in the back, but look, now I'm free. That's right.